Anyway, I think we're ready to start.
Yep.
So, we left off the party making their way, leaving Claythorpe, traveling many days with the following Velafera to a underground, we'll say, cathedral or tomb, where they fought diligently to retrieve and acquire a certain spear, which they know very little about. Fighting some orcs, realizing that uh, they might be getting themselves in deeper trouble. Some of the party members took it upon themselves to silence the orc and leave things behind. Um, Traveling not too far, not too long after that, they encountered a currently dead soldier of the Emerald Guard, retrieving the horse and the individual. You made your way to a town not too far from this, from where you had spotted this young woman. Um, it's here that you found an orphanage run by a very jovial and drunk a priest or friar by the name of Alejandro. Um, the orphanage was packed full of children. Some of you took kindly, warmed up to them rather well. Others not so much. Um, Using this opportunity to come to the church for Velafera to potentially do a ritual of some to help this person pass on possibly to a better life. You had a very wonderful dinner, and you have been ushered out into the main hall of this church. The children pulled away. One pulled off of Eric's leg, and they were ushered off to bed for the evening. As you guys stand right now in the temple, very shabbily done temple of the of Palor. The body of the young woman is in the room, covered by her cloak, and there you stand. What would you like to do?
Could you describe the room?
Yes, not very big. It's mostly made of wood, and it's you could see it's well aged. Once was brown, is now gray. The pews mostly broken and or repaired shabbily. It is a very small church. There was only one stained glass window that does represent that of Palor. There is an altar to the deity as well, but it is very modest.
And what time is it?
Currently, it is in the evening hours. We'll say about an hour before you guys would generally go to bed.
Okay. Where exactly is the body laying, like in correlation to the window?
The body, the stained glass window is if you're standing at the door, the stained glass window would be off to your left hand side. The body is currently off the left hand side, but is immediately by the front door, as not to bring any deeper into the house or the temple.
Okay. I would like to ask for assistance moving the body so its head is resting towards the stained glass window.
Who would help Bella Fair? All right. So Eric's and Rao, you pick up the body and position, still covered the face, as you would remember previously. The horse that was dragging it face down, and the face was mangled. The only way that you could discern it was possibly a female was the breastplate did represent that of something a female guard would wear. Placing the body facing the window.
Yeah, I'm going to take the cape off and just kind of neatly fold it and place it down away from the body, but kind of by it. And I'll start taking out my candles and just like setting them up around the area. And Navare will kind of sit not in the space between the head and the window, but off to the right side, like a cat, like up.
Okay.
Right there.
Positioned up. Okay.
Yeah.
As this is occur, as the candles are being lit and Navarre has positioned itself, the rest of you, where are you? Are you watching this? Or are you moved on to other things? What is it that you are currently doing?
I'll grab a seat in one of the pews and watch.
Okay.
I want to respectfully take this cape and walk away.
Just out or just into it inside the room still?
Out of the room. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you leave out the front door.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head out the front door with the cape in hand, and you are present in the night sky.
I wasn't being stealthy. Did anyone stop me?
You see, all of you see Unido take the cape and walk out the front door.
At this point, I don't question it.
Yeah. Unido.
It's part of the course.
Mr. Couture, what would you be doing?
Sitting in a corner, scribbling, paying a little bit of attention.
I like to put the cape in my stuff.
Okay, you shove the emerald cape on. We'll say there is a fine pin that represents the rank. And when I say pin, about a softball size clutch.
Like metal?
Yes.
Okay.
That's represents the rank of this officer of the Emerald Guard. You shove that into your bag. You finish lighting the candles. Eric's and Rao. What are you doing?
Just waiting for any instructions for Velafair to give me, and just follow through helping her with the ceremony.
Okay. As you've completed the initial part of this ceremony, what is it that you'd like to do?
I'll kind of stand on the opposite side of where Navri is standing or sitting, and I'll look at the two of them and notice that everybody's kind of doing their own thing and say, if you want to help, you can, but I don't think there's too much for you to do, but you're more than welcome to watch.
Then I'll just sit like 10 feet away.
Okay.
I'll just observe. I don't really know what you can do for someone who's already passed on, but certainly it intrigues me.
Unfortunately, I can't do what I would have hoped to have done, but I can do enough to ensure that they will not return. So, I will reach into my bag and take out 2 pieces of copper, put it over their eyes, and I will take a mortar and pestle out of my bag, and I'll kind of start crushing up silver powder with salt, and I'll start sprinkling it over the body, and then in a line down the body, I'll do like a heavier line, and then across the shoulders. And while I'm doing that, I'm speaking in Celestial, saying my little prayer to thank the goddess for this person and them serving their time and everything that they've done and dedicated their life to, and hoping for her to take them as far as she can, because consciously I know she can't take them all the way into the next life because they've already left their body. So Navare will start as I'm finishing up my closing prayer. Navare will walk around the body and sit on the other side, and I'll kind of kneel down next to it. I'll cut. Is it wearing its armor?
Yes, the body is still armored.
I would take the armor.
Okay, take the time. It does take a bit of time, but it's a nice breastplate, and you unlatch it from the body.
And I will cut down its chest, kind of crack it open, take out the heart, and offer it to Navare. Navare will eat it, and you'll see his spots kind of like shimmer and dance a little bit, almost like oil slick, kind of, as he's doing that. And I'll start praying again, and
we'll say at this point, Roy, you notice, because you're towards the back room, you do see Alejandro off to the side, not saying he's very much respectful, but he is watching and viewing this ritual as it has occurred.
Yeah, and then after Navare eats the heart, I will kind of put the breastplate back on the body and relatch it, and take a long, like, almost like a sheet out of my bag, lay it over the body, and start blowing out the candles.
Okay, as you begin to blow out the candle, roll me a religion check. 8.
Yeah.
You've done this ritual before. You know when Navare has consumed the heart, there's usually more of a presentation. You see a single spark in both of his eyes ignite and then go dim. You're not sure what may have occurred, good or bad. as you blow out the candles. The room is still lit with sconces around, but you blow out your ceremonial candles. The body is covered. Unido, I'm assuming eventually make your way back in, or are you still outside?
Yeah, I make my way back in to see this jaguar eating a heart, which I don't judge because I can't.
So, as the ritual comes to a close, Alejandro steps forward. That was very unusual. I've nothing against it. I've just never seen anything like that. And the deity that you follow is.
Sahani.
I've heard of her. I did not know that was a thing. I'm going to turn in for the night. I do not have room within the temple, and I apologize for that. There is a barn. It's mostly dilapidated, but it can protect from the elements for a little bit. I'd rise fairly early with the children. You're more than welcome to join us for breakfast, but the barn is there for you if you'd like to house your wagon or yourselves. I bid you good night, and Paylor be with you. And he stumbles away in his drunken stupor.
Awesome.
Seems like a great guy.
Do you opt to go to the barn, or are you looking for other means?
The barn will at least offer us some shelter tonight. It'd be nice to be out of the elements. I can go set up there.
Yeah, it's probably too late to go find an inn or anything. Probably closed up for the night, so might as well just check out the barn.
I think anything is better than being out in the open.
That's very true.
So, as you exit the temple, you take notice that Alejandro, in an instant, all the lights dim, and as you leave.
Can I go back in? Do they turn back on?
They do not.
Should we bury the body, or should that wait until the morning?
I think we're bringing her back to her wife and
yeah,
people, so we really can't bury her.
Yep. Oh. Remember that. Yep.
So you take the time to load the body back into the wagon. As suggested, as you step out of the temple, you take notice, not too far from where you are standing, there is a dilapidated barn. The front doors are no longer there, and most of the roof at in the entrance has sagged.
Does the building look like it's about to collapse in on itself? Like, is it that bad?
Make me a wisdom check.
That's my forte. Wisdom 5.
You're not sure. I mean, there are strong points, but you're not sure. With the way the roof looks right now, it's iffy.
Do you know about buildings and stuff, or are you just more small-scale structures and things?
It's fine. It's been here probably 100 years.
I mean, if you say so.
Just don't catch anything on fire.
Does it look like there's going to be a storm or anything tonight? Or weather?
Roll me a perception check.
Yep. Oh, that's 15.
The air is chill. I mean, as it is closing into the winter months, nothing in the sky. I mean, there are clouds, but nothing that is representing to you any kind of storm.
There's no reason it should fall on us tonight. It's a calm night.
Am I going to have room to read? I mean, you said no flame, but I kind of want to read my book.
I think as long as we're careful, I don't catch the building on fire, but I'm sure a candle wouldn't hurt.
On my pack, I have one of those minor lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much oil left inside, but you can use it for the night. It should last you that long.
Thanks. Thank you.
I feel stupid. This whole time I thought that you guys could just make light.
I mean, I can, but
Fair enough.
Cold out.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna grab the horse, the third horse that her horse.
Yes.
And
Who's still a little weak, but
lead it inside and tend to it.
Okay. And as you head inside,
hours.
it's at this point it is dark within the interior. As suggested, the front of the house looks very risky. The back looks very well put together, and you can see the way the roof covers. This could keep you protected from the elements and any of the cross winds that are coming through. Nothing serious, but just enough that would give a bit of chill to some of you.
I'd like to clear out any like hay that's in the sleep bare ground that I can like set up her camp.
Okay. So yeah, you take the time to do that. Are you setting your alarm as well? Okay.
Yes.
So you see, you would see Pipalook begin to lay out the sticks and put the juniper berries on it in a circle in a perimeter around you. The rest of you, Marceline, you see her go off to the side. She takes the lantern and she does light it on her own. And she prepares it as she sits down in the corner and begins flipping through her book that you all have seen her carry with her. And she is just doing hand gestures and practicing. You see a little gust of wind that swirls in the air, and she's just working on verbal and semantic components currently. The rest of you, while Pipalook is setting up camp, anything in particular you'd like to do?
I need to wait for everyone to like regather because did I finish the Etherus diary?
You did, I believe, and I gave you quite a bit of information.
Okay, so I gotta like explain all that to everybody. So
Okay.
just whenever they all have free time.
Unless there's anything of importance that needs to get done, we'll say you guys reconvene around Rao, and it is still unless we have the lantern lit, but there is no other light emanating from the room.
Okay. Because the contents of his diary make me very nervous. You all watch me dip into my little pouch that I carry sometimes. I slew it in between my gums and lip, and I began speaking to everybody. I finished his diary, and not good stuff. Not good stuff at all. Apparently, there's more to Claythorpe than hopefully Dovovar knew. Otherwise, he sent us to a very dangerous place without letting us know.
Is this more than the vampires?
I don't know. There's probably more books. There's probably more in his office that I should have grabbed, but I was in a frightened hurry to get the hell out of there, and not really considering going back to grab whatever I missed. But there is. How much would I know about the other place? Not Claythorpe, but what it was built upon, or the area that was merged in there.
Not much. I mean, you know the name that you read, but you would have to find other information based on that specifically.
It's hard to understand because the place didn't look that civilized or had any remnants. Normally when you go to a place that has some sort of civilization on top, there's old buildings or some sign that people used to live there, but apparently Claythorpe used to be a keep of some sort. It was called Ebon Hollow at some point. It was from what I've read, I know about him as much as he wrote, but there was some sort of creature that ruled in that area, and it was a place of eternal night. I started to flip through certain passages. He went there with his adventuring group. There was a dwarf, there was a human. For the most part, only one of them was killed in the excursion, if I believe. Basically, whatever we saw there has been there for a while, but the fact it was able to disappear, I don't know. There's a lot of random threads that I can't tie together to explain what this place used to be. Did he say anything about the Shadowfell? I don't remember. But apparently this Ebon Hollow is a land between places, and this guy thought it was just a great idea to just sit a farming community on top of it, saying that he'd prepare to defend if it were ever to return. But I guess he forgot that he's just a human, and he died, leaving the whole town defenseless. Apparently no one else knew except for him and the adventuring party. according to the list of who was there was multiple humans, and the only person that would possibly be still alive, because this happened decades ago, is a dwarf in their party. But I don't even know where we begin to find him to get the proper answers. The book was very vague, so there's not a lot of good stuff in there. But everything that it alludes to is just a lot of death and doom.
Was he tasked to stay there and assure that this civilization didn't return, or did he take it upon himself and make that choice?
Yeah, the original missive of why he went there in the first place was very unclear. I think he was looking for something. And can I make a perception check to look around real quick to make sure no one's like watching in or listening on us?
Just a doppelganger.
Always.
It's a horse.
Praise be Muhammad. Natural 20.
Okay.
Don't leave me hanging.
Aside from your immediate people around you, the only person you notice that is paying attention is Marceline, as she began reading the book and you started the story, and she's holding the book and she's just listening. Nothing in her face suggests anything nefarious, but she's just
Is she like sitting far away?
She's off in the corner.
Hey, come here. I'm gonna start whispering this part. Just everyone huddle up real quick.
Okay. She gets up and she closes the book, grabs the lantern, and heads over in your direction.
I'm gonna say, this is where I like begin whispering, and I'm like, I don't know any common knowledges that all of you, or languages that all of you would know, but I start.
Ask.
Huh?
You always ask.
I speak giant, dude. No one else is giant.
I do that thing where everyone gets close, but I get everyone closer.
Okay, buddy.
According to the missive, the original reason why the group got together to attack this keep is because of the thing in my possession. And it's not the one that stabs people, it's the thing that is newly acquired. But the reason he stayed is more personal. He felt like a failure because he didn't finish everything. He felt like he needed to protect everybody, but again, if he wasn't killed, he just grew old and died, and I guess these things...
What do you mean newly acquired thing?
I was gonna say,
Eileen,
do I know?
You don't.
As a player, I know, but not as Eric.
Eric's does not know.
Eric's does not
Actually,
know.
none of you know.
Yeah, I also lean closer.
No, I don't.
Because they two are in the room, so
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
us
what it is, but I know you
four
have
would
something.
know.
But
That's it.
Marceline, what do you mean?
Do you still have the box?
Yes.
Box.
Yes. It's a thing that I have, that I got from his house. The woman who we rescued kind of charged me with its protection. And I don't think I'm the right person to protect it. So I'm trying to get it to Dobovar as soon as possible. I actually have no idea what it is. I'm not even able to open it. But now I'm hoping it just stays closed for now.
Magically locked, or is it locked, or
No,
what?
yeah, I just can't pick a lock.
Nor should you.
I don't have the key, neither does she.
I mean, I could certainly try to open it.
Right now, I feel like it's best if we don't. We just...
What is? So we don't know what's in the box?
I don't recall the box.
Yeah, it's the box. The item's locked in a box.
No, he's. Yeah.
What?
You were in the room with me.
I don't think so. Pretty sure I was looking at some scrolls or something.
How much did you drink?
What day?
What day?
So, behind Etherus' portrait was a box. Inside this box is an item that he was protecting. It was the same reason why we were approached by that woman on the back of that ghoul thing. It's what she wanted. And
So we're just walking around with this thing that creepy people want?
I had no clue.
No one knows that it's been put in our protection. If it's been lost, does Evan Hollow still pose a threat?
I mean, probably, to be honest. And that's why I'm so dedicated to get the heck away from here and get back to Dovovar as soon as we can.
Did anything in the diary, did it imply that this was the thing that they were sent to retrieve for Evan Hollow, or?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Apparently it was something that made the ruler's account, whatever their label is, it made them extremely strong. And while it didn't defeat them, it just pacified them not to have it. So.
And is this Ebon Hollow related to this Vermilion Empire?
I don't think so. I think it might be something from before that.
Okay.
It's old.
I think that everything terrible is related to the Vermilion Empire.
Or old.
Yeah. But if you to understand my sense of urgency, understand I have a stick of dynamite in my backpack, and
I'm sorry?
it's a proverbial stick of dynamite.
I like that
And
disappointed.
And I'd prefer to get it off of me as soon as I can. Nope, you're
that's
you're good.
I don't know what
You're
it is,
good,
but
you know.
that's nope.
But yeah, that's it.
We need to get this to Dover as soon as possible. Maybe he could tell us what it is.
Yeah, I'm hoping he could just even open it. So.
Try to open
Nope,
it.
well, I'm pretty good right now.
I could open it as well.
Yeah, I'm still pretty good right now.
We do not need to be opening it. It's been
I'm
trusted to
hacksaw,
us.
to say.
Nope, it's good. It's good. It's safe in this box. Hopefully.
Minutes later, you're just like,
Yep, I tried that already.
How to do it. We all wake up and just
Yeah, the hand drill.
But long story short, whoever's carrying it will probably start to get targeted if it gets out. So let's be quiet about it, and I'll just have it on my back.
And this is what that thing was after?
Yeah, I guess it's multiple people that are after it. The doppelganger, that little frog thing that was eating stuff, even the woman.
Inside check on Marceline when he says doppelganger. I don't
I've
trust her
heard
still, but
Okay.
mention of a doppelganger before, but doppelganger? What?
So the curator of the museum, Joanna, apparently was replaced after she was shoved in a room, and she was attempting to walk in as Joanna to retrieve this item, but simultaneously some beast was summoned to also find this, and I guess they didn't think they could kill it alone, so she hired people, or I guess waited for someone to come along trying to kill it, and then would try to slide through the house herself, and we just happened to get there before her.
Interesting. And did you take care of the doppelganger?
No, they didn't. Marceline speaks up. They did not. They thought they did, but it was me. They thought I was the doppelganger.
Oh, is that why all of this hostility?
I copied that.
Some of it.
Uh-huh.
Marceline, it was the only way we could be sure. It's a creature that can take on the looks and personality and voice of anyone.
Anyone. And she looks at all of you. It could have been any one of us.
I punched Pippa Luke in the face.
And I'm not going to have you roll it, because it's totally
sneak
just,
attack, man.
and you just punch Pippa Luke.
I want to retaliate.
I'm back.
How do you retaliate?
I'm gonna try to take my staff and slam him onto the ground.
Okay, now
Get on the ground.
roll me. Okay, a grapple check. Your strength against his dexterity, or your your dexterity.
It's gonna sound like a bowling pin falling over.
Strength or athletics?
Athletics, yes, or
Okay.
against your acrobatics.
That's gonna be a 13.
17.
Okay, yeah. As you swing your staff around to hit him with it, he ducks back out of the way.
Oh.
Actually, he goes from full standing to almost crab walk, and then flips back up.
That's creepy.
You seen that movie Legion?
I go to punch someone else.
No.
As soon as he goes to try to punch someone else, I cast Hold Person on you to know.
Oh, shoot.
Roll me a
Does that
wisdom
work?
save.
Yeah. It's
Oh, does it work on
Is it con-
Does it work on
constructs?
Yeah,
constructs?
no, it does. As
Okay.
long as
Okay.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
as long as you're humanoid size.
Oh, humanoids, yeah.
13.
13? Nope.
Yep, you immediately in a punch. Yeah, in your stance, you are locked in place only for a minute.
You know,
All right.
How's Marceline react?
I'm gonna look at everybody and say,
I just can't.
A majority of this party has known I've had this on my back. So, if the doppelganger was one of us, they've had plenty of chance to stab us all in our sleep. Right now, the only people we can trust are everyone I'm talking to.
But regardless, with this creature on our tails, there should be some. We should have some secure way of verifying our identities.
I'm not trying to speak out of turn here, and I know we have some ill tempers against me personally, but I think we need to know what's in the box before we take it to Dovavar.
Real quick, is this room like very dark or what's
you guys didn't light anything but that lantern.
Okay, so they don't see it. Never mind.
I mean, unless you guys specified something that was lit. But she says, if we're bringing this to Dovavar, we need to know what it is. We could be bringing something that we're taking it into one of the largest cities in Nadrian. If you think it's some sort of crazy weapon, if we get caught with this thing, not only by whoever's hunting for it, but by the authorities, we're in trouble.
She has a point, because we don't really know. I mean, I don't know Dovavar, but I don't want to.
Minute has passed.
I was gonna say.
I stay in that boat.
Okay. I was gonna say a minute has passed.
I was gonna walk over there and just.
He punches the horse.
I don't want to get there and then not know he's gonna take it, and then there's the chance that he wouldn't tell us what it is. I don't necessarily know if I can get on board with total blind faith.
All right, y'all are right, but not here. I want the exposure of this thing out in the open to be as minimal as possible. I don't know how they're able to track it. Maybe it's this keeping it inside the box that's holding everything off. But yeah, I don't want it out in the open for as long as possible. So maybe let's just get a little closer to the city before we open it up.
If it worries you so much to have it on your person, I could hold on to it.
As much as I want that.
Get too much dead of winter.
As much as I'd love that, if it is not what I think it is, and it ends up being something a lot worse, I can't have that on my conscience that it hurts on somebody else.
What do you think it is?
Actually, she told me not to say, but it apparently it helps you read minds and read memories.
Is that so uncommon in magic? I thought we had a potion in our possession that allowed the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. There was some hesitancy to when she described it. I think there's a bunch of stuff she didn't want to tell me about it, and yeah, I don't think that was all it could do. There's probably definitely more.
Well, perhaps it's for the best that this knowledge is lost.
Yeah, if it was owned by such a malicious person, there's probably...
That's the problem, Pippaluke. It's not going to be lost. Because now every one of us knows about it.
And we're possibly bringing it to someone who can either utilize it or...
Sell it.
He won't sell it. If it's something that's as what you're suggesting, I trust that Dovavar won't do something like that. The whole point of his shop, and I'm sorry, Pippaluke, is that he keeps these out of the hands of people that would use them for wrong.
And
Even though we're all who we say we are for now.
And who knows, maybe
Put it down.
maybe we can use it to study who exactly these people are. Maybe there's more to it than we surface level. There's probably people out there that specialize in these sort of items. Maybe it's not best to have it lost. Maybe it's just better to have it understood. That's the whole purpose of what I do.
Well, as a child of the border, living in Cariat, if this is what the Vermilion Empire wanted, something that could read minds, that could be detrimental to them breaching our forces.
Well, it could also be beneficial to turn against them. We just gotta make sure it enters the hands of the right people.
And how are we to decide who these right people are? if we were from the other side of this border, wouldn't we want the Vermilion Empire to succeed? I don't understand.
Yeah, Marceline does. You might want to be careful how loudly you say stuff like that on this side of the border.
Okay. But I believe that there's a little bit of context that's been missing. I do know, Belafera, you have strong opinions about some that we've come in contact with. Marceline, you also have strong opinions of those who have come in contact with. I just want to make sure that bias isn't something that's influencing our thoughts when we trust this item to a party.
I'll just point out that we are currently under contract with Dovavar to bring back any artifact that we recover on our trip. We are legally bound, and I don't want to piss him off. Plus, he owes me money.
Did he specify this particular artifact?
He's not.
It's no. He just said anything. I guess we should have explained Dopavar more. He's just a concierge or
The concierge.
I guess where you
fucking
sit
luggage. Who packs all this
Let me
shit?
see if I can get you some tickets to the water park.
Excuse me. Connoisseur of just weird magical oddities. So honestly, I don't even know if this is something he's interested in. He might look at it and just tell us to get it as far away from him as possible.
Well, it sounds weird and magical, so perhaps it is under his purview. I just worry that it is specifically what you were sent for because you were specifically sent to Claythorpe. And this seems to be the biggest discovery you made.
Well, we were sent there because a friend of his was having issues with her daughter. Poppy Weatheran's had a daughter that was acting and behaving weird, and we found out it was because she was being, I'm guessing, was being possessed by some creatures. We dealt with the creatures, but then we felt like there was more unfinished business in Claythorpe, and until I finished this book, none of us knew why. But this book makes it pretty clear.
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, I really think we should open it before we get to carry it, but...
I second that.
And what if once we open it, we have no way to hide it again? We don't know if there's some protection in this.
Well, we need to know what it is before we just bring it into a city full of people.
We can certainly identify the carrying mechanism and see if it's a spell or a protection, or before we open it, to be cautious, but...
Could just be a certain material that I can easily identify.
Well, we're still next to a chapel full of sleeping children, so maybe when we leave town, while we hit the road.
Yeah, I don't trust children either.
Well, in the meantime, being that we know we have this, I think we should double up watches. I know if we have something, I can help in any way. And I'm sorry if we got off on the wrong foot, but this is serious, and I plan on taking it serious.
Thank you.
With that said, do you guys opt to take your camp?
Yeah, I'll do first watch.
So
I'll do first watch as well, and while I'm doing it, I'll be changing out the bandages on the horse.
I would like to do a watch with Marceline, whichever one she's taking.
Okay, she'll take a second.
I'm going to sleep through first and take second and third.
Okay, so Marceline, Pippaluke, and Farah. And third watch is, and you're up the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rather than doing a specific watch, I'm gonna.
You're just down.
He just
there.
hasn't told us where it is, but I am gonna sit in the cart. So not
Carts
really-
within built in.
Yeah, I pulled it in.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm sitting specifically in.
And third watch is Velafera, Unido, and Eris.
No, during the, because I keep my bag on me at all times. During the discussion, I would have been slapping the bottom of my haversack that I carry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching him the entire night.
Okay, so first watch.
It would have also explained why most of the night I use the haversack as a pillow to keep it close to me.
First watch goes. We have Rao and Roy. If you'd like to make perception checks, Roy, you would roll with disadvantage because unless you guys light something, it is dark.
Perception, huh?
Mm-hmm.
6.
5. Nothing of note. It is rather dark in here. I mean, with your dark vision, you can kind of keep an eye on. You see everyone sleeping within. The horses sleep rather well, but nothing else has caught any of your attention. Your watch goes by uneventful. You shake awake Marceline Pipalook and Velafera out of her trance-like state, and you 3 ladies have the watch.
To Unido, where he's sitting in the cart.
And you
Well, now I'm basically sitting wherever your head is, basically watching you.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Fist up.
Marceline sits. She sits
night.
around, but she first opens up her spell book and begins flipping through again, working on her verbal and somatic, but whispering as not to wake anybody who is sleeping. We can. One of you can roll at advantage for watch, or you can both roll separately.
You can roll at advantage, but I do want to say something to Unido and Marceline
Okay.
during this watch.
But not Veliver.
That's fine. I don't want to talk.
No. I'm just checking. I want to make sure.
We're having a chill night. So to Unido, I'll walk over and say, I'm not sure how much you're a part of what goes on here, but you do seem to be able to be concerned and suspicious about this doppelganger. If I were to ask you to come up with some way that we could trust you are who we say you are, is that something you could do? Okay.
What was your perception?
16.
What's your perception?
Oh, you
Or
rolled
she's
an
rolling
advantage.
advantage?
Yeah.
16? Okay. As you're having this conversation, and Unido, respond how you wish or
Yeah.
don't.
I kind of head nodded.
Yeah.
Shrug. Yeah.
You begin to notice on the ground, some of the hay, the old hay that was on the ground begins to move as the wind is pushing it,
It's just when pushing it.
as far as you can tell. You see Marceline's hair kind of kick back. Yours does too. You see a bit of a breeze.
Look at the sky and the clouds.
You look up and you see the roof of this building.
I can't look like.
You step out, walk.
No, like, can you like look out the side of it?
Yeah, you can look out the side.
Yeah, just like.
You don't see. You see nothing that represents wind. In an instance, you see Marceline drop her spellbook to the ground.
Oh, great.
She stands back with a gasp as you begin to see the pages flip rapidly, and a swirling wind begins to emanate from this, picking up pieces of straw, and then 4 little clouds emanate from this vast, cylindrical-looking cloud.
Like a tornado?
Very much like a tornado. As you stand there, Rao sleeping, Roy sleeping, Eric's resting, the wind picks up, and I need you guys to roll initiative.
Oh, man.
What about us that are sleeping?
If you're within 30 feet of me, you get a +2 to your initiative.
Awesome.
Do
Which
we
should
roll
be everybody.
yet, or
Yeah.
yes?
Oh,
we
man.
skip the first round, right? That's how that
If
works.
those of us are
We're
asleep.
asleep.
Yep. Not bad.
Yay!
Oh!
Aww.
Oh!
It's the leaning tower.
You got it?
And the barn falls on us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Calm night.
Right?
What's the
Plus 2.
plus 2?
Yep.
You have to be awake for that?
Closer to me? Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
never
it's
sleep.
question, I
so-
don't
No, do they have to be
I
awake
guess
for
like
that?
once we awake, that's when you roll all that.
Good?
We have reference points now.
So, I have placed on here, I have an Eric's resting, I have a Roy resting, I have a Marceline back against the wall, Unido off to the cart here,
Oh, okay.
Velafera, we'll say you stepped out here to look up to the roof to see the sky.
What do you get?
Pipalook
I'm with Unido.
with
Your guys'
Unido,
initiative.
That is 0 dex.
and
Initiative.
Rao sleeps.
21.
I had to pick up a mini yesterday.
I know, right?
That is not a bugbear.
He's swirly.
I don't like it.
I love it.
Oh. No.
He's a ghost boy.
I always hated Tinkerbell.
Oh.
What are those?
No.
Bear with me just a minute.
I got the initiative.
Okay, 25 to 20?
21's Corey and Amber got 20.
Now
19 to 15?
I got 18. And Philip Barry got a 16.
All right, 14 to 10?
Eric's a 14 plus 1 initiative, and then Rao 14 plus 0.
And that... Oh, Marceline. Forgot about my girl. She got a 14 as well.
What's she gonna do?
No. She got a...
Finding here's rough.
I like the things at the barn.
Don't pick on Marceline. He's a good kid.
Good kid from the neighborhood.
She's not.
How do you really feel?
She's sweet. I like her.
All right.
Sounds like all
In this instance, you all notice this swirling wind and these four, we'll say, winged beasts that seem to be mostly made of wind themselves. They lurch about with these long claw-like scenarios, and two of them in the back immediately look towards Marceline. She gasps with her hands against the wall. Mr. Roy Couture, you can roll me a perception check at disadvantage because you're asleep. 8. The wind blows in your beard with it. You are sleeping.
Alright.
As nothing has touched you yet. Pipalook, it is your initiative.
I would like to grab my whistle and sound the alarm. Like just blow through it.
Okay, so blow through the whistle.
Yeah.
It echoes throughout.
And then I would like to run because he's the closest one to me that's asleep. I'm gonna stand in front of Eric's.
Oh, thanks, boo.
No problem.
All right, you move next to Eric's, where you see this entity that's floating in the air with these steam-like wings and these claws that loom over Eric's.
And I'm just holding my quarterstaff. And I would like to do Shield of Faith as a bonus action.
On yourself.
Yes.
And that is a concentration.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So, Shield of Faith on yourself. You are concentrating on that. You +2 to your AC.
Yep.
Which AC is a good word right now because it is warm. Marceline backs against the wall with her turn, unaware of what is occurring. She screams out as she has no idea. I would say as she screams with the whistle at the same time, both Roy and Rao and Eric's awake as you hear Marceline scream barely through this echoing of wind that is whipping through this. That is Marceline's turn. Unido, it is your turn.
Yep, so I'm gonna take my head, I'm gonna do circle of motion and toss on him. I'm gonna cast use Crown in Sorrows. So he needs to make the big guy needs to make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
I spent 3 side points on
That is a 12.
Failed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'll take 3d8 psychic damage. Which is 6 points of psychic damage. And he cannot take reactions until the start of his turn.
Okay.
Of his next turn, yep.
All right.
And bonus
you
action, don't do anything. And I will summon the one of my arms will turn into the rapier as the wood starts forming in, and now I have a pointed spear. My other arm will turn to the wooden shield, so wood starts.
All right, and you
Throwing
take
out into
at your stance with the rapier and shield up. Are you holding your position?
put me in front of Velafera.
You're 10 feet directly in front of Velafera. All right, that is going to go to Velafera. You see Unido step in front of you, obviously substantially shorter than you are, and takes an aggressive stance as this swirling entity is directly in front of you. You see Rao just waking up as his hair whips in front of his face, looking about very confused on what is going on.
So this is probably a dumb question, but the Spinny Boy and the Fly guys are all different entities.
As far as you, yeah, they look
Hashtag
different
Spinny Boy.
into what you can see.
Okay. I want to cast Bane. So.
All right,
take out
targeting
my sword and just kind of drop some blood around me.
and the range on that, just so I'm clear.
30 feet.
All right, yeah.
So I'm going to do the 3 small guys.
3 or 4 small guys.
No,
Or 3. You can only do
covers
target 3. All right,
Yeah,
so
and the 3 closest to me.
all right, so this
Yeah, 2, 3.
Okay.
Perfect.
that is a what's the charisma save?
Yeah.
13.
Fails. Success. And fails. So this one here most certainly is baned from doing anything. You are currently concentrating on that spell. Good to know. All right, that is your.
They
What
said,
about the other two?
they said that those
Failed.
two failed.
Yeah, 1
and-
success and 2 fails.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say 2 fails?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So he
So
succeeded.
that one succeeded and the other two.
Yeah, I got it backwards here.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, that. that.
Cool.
They are baned, and I will make sure that I roll that d4 when we do that. That was your action to do so.
Yeah.
Movement? Are you staying where you are?
No.
Okay. At this point, this entity here moves in right here.
Oh, that's
I need
convenient.
Rao, Unido, and Velafera. I need you to make me strength saving throws, please.
And I am prone on the ground, so does that affect anything?
That's only dex.
That's only dex saving throws.
Yeah.
12.
Oh, this is
Almost
7.
Okay.
Strength 5.
All right.
What a boy.
All 3 of you take 19 points of bludgeoning damage. And
No.
Unido, you are flung 20 feet this way and fall prone. Velafera,
With a plywood plank through a brick
I'm sorry.
wall.
How much damage?
Yeah, those
you
window
are
testing
flung
ones.
this way. Velafera, you are flung this way and fall prone. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw to see if you can maintain your Bane. You're looking for a 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
10.
You maintain concentration as you are whipped by the wind and slide across the ground. At this point, you can smell the old straw and probably old dirt and manure that's long been forgotten. Unido, you were on the ground as well. And Mr. Rao, you don't go too far, but you slam against the wall right here. You slide and slam against the wall.
You awake yet?
Does that give me a
Nope.
shield
That was
You
the
did not
bludgeoning
go.
damage. That was the bludgeoning damage.
That
That and Unido whacking you in the face.
That is its turn, and we are going to move to Eric's.
I would like to spend half my movement to get the fuck up. And then my action to cast, use my Eldritch Invocation Armor of Shadows to cast Mage Armor.
You got your mage armor, so
So
you're
it's the swirly black, kind of purple, necrotic looking energy covering my body, so I
AC
am
is
not
currently
as
14.
squishy.
Yes.
And then bonus action, I would like to hex the big boy, the big swirly boy.
Okay.
So I'm concentrating on hex, and his disadvantage will be sugar. I never know what to do with that.
Yeah, it's weird because it's checks.
Yeah. Strength.
Strength checks.
Yeah, it's just checks, so I never.
You're good. I mean, you still get the extra d6, so
Yeah.
that's where you really, the really driving force for
Yep.
that one is. All right, that is your action. Your bonus action. You're maintaining where you are. Yes.
I'm gonna move back towards Marceline, but I'll stay within melee of the floaty boy, so I don't get an
Right
attack.
here,
Back towards Marceline. That's Marceline, right?
Marceline. Yeah. So you move here, but you will take attack opportunity from that one.
Oh crap! I was in
is
between the
Bane.
two.
Yeah.
It is
Bam.
banned.
Sure.
All right.
Let's. Yep.
We're gonna roll the dice, so to speak.
Give it.
Ooh.
Yeah, he is. That's gonna hit. That is It's 20. 19 minus 1 plus 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you take 4 points of slashing
Okay.
and another 4 points of fire
So
damage.
8. Okay. Sounds good. Great. Love it.
That's
Beautiful.
yes. And that is your turn.
Yep.
We are going to go to Rao. You are on the ground. You are conscious, but you've been slapped against the wall by the wind.
Okay, am I next to the other floating one?
You're right. Yeah, he's floating right atop
So
atop you. He's actually looming over Roy right now, who's just opened his eyes. You see this almost demonic-looking face. It's like,
And with claws.
yeah. But you just get the sense of heat that keeps hitting you.
So I'm in between both those two,
Mhm.
the small one and the big one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that changes things. I will use my action to disengage and run towards where.
So have to stand.
Yep.
Action to disengage. Where are you heading?
I'm gonna head over towards in between Vaceran and Unido, somewhere in diagonal there.
20.
What's maybe 15?
Oh yeah, 15. So you
Um,
move here.
Yeah, I guess so. It's not the best. And I'll just. He's gonna knock me out. I will not bonus action anything, and I'll do that in my turn.
Oh wait, end of your turn. That is gonna go to the creepies. This one here moves over towards Marceline. This one here moves over towards Marceline, still within your, not leaving your attack range. And both of them, you see, grab at Marceline. One, he cannot get a hold of her. Yes, but this one here takes and begins to grab, and you see her begin to lift off the ground as they start grabbing at her robes and her, trying to lift her up.
Oh, goodness.
But they do not strike at her. That is going to go to this one here in front of you, Pipalook. He's going to attempt to strike with his Bane. That's 12 to hit. It swipes at you and is unable to make purchase. This one here on you, Mr. Couture, will strike at advantage, but with Bane.
That one's not Bane.
No, he's not Baned, so still at advantage. So he's going to hit you for 19 to hit, and you will take 1 point of slashing and 1 point of fire damage as you are on the ground. That is their turn. We are going to go to the top of the round. Mr. Couture, you are awake. You are being struck at. What are you going to do?
I'm going to cast Armor Bagtus.
Got it.
Then I'm going to stand up, and then I'm going to run away from that one towards Marceline, the one on the other side. I'm going to flank with Marceline.
Okay, so
And
have to
pull
get
out
up.
my hatchet.
5, 10. You get over here. He's going to take his attack of opportunity.
Hit me, buddy.
No Bane. That's 19 to hit.
That hits.
You take 3 points of slashing and 2 points of fire.
All right. He takes 8 points of cold damage.
8 points of cold damage to him. All right, he is still.
Is that considered, are those damage considered in the same attack, or are they separate?
There.
Meaning, both of those damages are from the attack.
One
not
attack.
from-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was.
Not like his breath.
No.
Just
No. He had,
rank.
don't
Okay.
worry. Don't remind me that they have a breath weapon.
All right, my armor
Okay.
bag of this is gone, but I hit him.
All right. So that. So you move up here.
He's like,
What is your turn?
Or no, he doesn't.
Oh, you cast Armor of Agathis. Anything else you're doing?
I moved. I pulled out hatchets.
Okay, you got your hatchets out.
But yeah, armor bag. This is now gone.
All right, Pipalook, it is your turn.
Can I tell what kind of creatures these are? These small ones that are flying about?
Make me a nature check.
That's gonna be. Use my inspiration.
Okay.
Cool. That's gonna be a 18.
18. You've never seen anything like these specific. The ones you've possibly seen were made of ice.
Do I know like what type they are?
Uh,
Like, have to stop them. Or...
Let's see here. They are elementals.
Okay.
With an 18, you discern that they are elementals. But the ones you have encountered were made of ice
Okay.
and snow.
Then I'm just going to take my quarterstaff and I'm going to slam on the one in front of me.
Get it.
So that's going to be 21 to hit,
21 definitely hits.
and it's going to be 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right, 9 points of bludgeoning to him.
Yeah.
Yes, almost like you push the wind aside. It does appear that you have damaged it in one way. All it does is mouth rears open and it lets out a little cackle as both his hands lift up and he assumes a position of over you. That is going to be your turn.
Yep, that's my turn.
That is going to go to Marceline, who is going to try to break her grapple as the one is beginning to lift her off the ground. Nope, she rolled a 1. So she is unable to break the grapple. She just screams,
She's a wizard.
"Help! Help! Help!" And she is screaming to the top of her lungs. That is going to go to Unido.
Half move and stand up. And I'm going to have the arms, but I'm going to just stare at it. And I'm going to cast Visions of Despair. So it needs to make a Charisma saving throw again.
You hit me with that charisma that hurts. That's a 9 or 8.
8. So it fails. This one takes 3d6 of psychic damage. Which is
Nice.
9, 13 points of psychic.
He rolled double, which rolled 38.
Yeah. and his speed is reduced to 0 until the start of its next. Oh, until the end of its next turn.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
But I will move 15 feet toward like the corner of the barn door. Perfect. Yep.
All right, move over. The entity just spins here. It's not aware that it can't move yet. I'm sure it'll find out very soon here. Velafera, you are on the ground. You look up, get your breath. You've taken quite a bit of damage, but you see Unido. You see Rao peeking around, running around the other side, and then vaguely with your dark vision, you can make out there's a lot of madness going on back here.
I'm gonna cast.
Are you standing up or are you standing on the ground?
I'm gonna sit there while I cast, and
Oh,
I'm
shit.
gonna cast a. Yeah, just like right there. Yeah. Spiritual weapon.
Actually, can you roll me a strength saving throw for Navarre?
No. He wasn't even curious. Why are you gonna kill that cat?
14.
Oh,
He saves.
Of course.
Oh.
So
No.
he would have saved. He would have taken half the damage. So he did take what's that? I would say 10 points.
10.
Oh, 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Down because it's generous. Yeah.
That's fine.
So much heart.
Okay.
For life.
Yeah, spiritual weapon, and it's gonna look like a giant sickle.
I felt like you were going to cast it, so I already pulled my spiritual weapon
Yeah.
for today. I just
Nice.
thought it was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Where do you
put
want
it
it?
like as close as possible to the big spinning.
Yeah, boom,
Yeah.
right in front of him.
Yeah. Do I get to
Nice.
hit now too, or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you roll. Yeah, so
okay.
roll the d20 at your spell casting. So be proficiency plus your wisdom. Should be on your spell page. You know that.
It's been a while. 19.
19? Yes, it definitely is.
Okay.
Definitely. So roll a d8 plus your wisdom modifier.
Uh, 8.
8 points of
Bludgeoning damage.
bludgeoning damage to
Or
him.
force damage. Sorry, I can't read.
You're good. 8 points of force damage to him. It rakes into him. He still looks pretty hardy, but
Can I stand up?
yep, half your movement to stand up.
Yeah.
Here, boom.
And I'm gonna go stomp into that corner.
Over here, you're heading there. So 5, 10, 15, you run, and you're next to you see Unido maintaining, just walking, sidestepping, maintaining his gaze on this entity as
Yeah.
he holds up his blade
Cover it
and
with
shield.
me
Oh yeah.
too. Perfect.
That is your bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon. You still have an action. You could do Sacred Flame, or you have other badass stuff over there. I think you know what you got.
You know.
You know, but it has to be a cantrip.
I'm gonna Toll the Dead him too.
Yeah. Wisdom saving throw. That's a straight 10.
Has it been hurt yet?
Was one the big one?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can mess them up in the center.
Yeah.
Psychic.
12
Nice.
points of
12 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit him pretty hard. He's still looking. Actually, he begins to lose a bit of his.
Gusto?
Yeah.
Oh! Man, that was out of nowhere too.
Yes.
Be quiet all
die
day
first.
for the rest. You drop that.
You die first. Anyway.
Beautiful.
All right. So
You get an
that was your.
inspiration.
That was a solid turn.
Die?
Oh, you already have one, but I'm not giving you any more inspiration. No. Look
That
at
was a
this
damn
boat.
good
That's what you get.
joke.
Look at this boat.
You can blow her well.
We don't have photographs.
He is
We have
here.
Snapchats.
I'm gonna make sure. I want to specify. I want to specify he was in this section here, not in here, so he's not close to you. So just, but I
I
do.
was assuming
believe-
he has reach. I'm, like,
I'm
waiting
just
for it.
checking. Nope, he does
Here I go.
not. Woo! But I'm going
Take
to.
Muhammad.
I will, because he cannot move. I'm going to see if he recharges his whirlwind attack.
Excuse me?
He does not.
Okay.
But you just see him looming there, waiting, anticipating his next turn,
I'm gonna get
spinning the whole time. Your hair is whipping, straw is whipping. The horses are beginning to become spooked with all of this in here, and the wagon will say it's in this was their whining. That is going to go to Eric's.
All right, I am very inspired by Villafera's actions because I'm going to basically do the exact same thing. Spiritual weapon, which I haven't done before, so I'll grab my.
I didn't grab another spiritual weapon.
Well, I
Where do you
live to
want?
make
What
it
is it?
complicated.
I know, it's
By the entity that's carrying Marceline away, up in his
There's a
jail.
label on it.
It's a fake label.
It's a fake label.
It says
So
Budweiser.
positioned right next to you.
Yep.
Use them.
Like
You
right
place your
behind
spiritual
me,
weapon.
just like kind of like. Boop,
And what does your
then,
spiritual weapon look like?
It looks like a spectral raven,
Okay.
much like Rael. It's just kind of like a mirror image of Rael, but
Bigger.
spectral. And then, do I get to attack on the same
Yes.
turn as the bonus action? Okay.
Yeah, so
that's,
D20 plus your spell casting.
17.
17 hits, yeah?
So that is.
There is not much to these things. They are made of air.
8 would be this
No lightning,
one.
Harry.
Oh, great, thank you. 8 points of force damage.
8 points of force damage to him.
Does it have to make like a save to see if it drops Marceline or?
Well, nope.
Oh, cool. Thought I would try and be creative with that.
That was your bonus action. What would you
Cool.
like to do for your
my
action?
I would like to toll the dead on Big Spinny Boy.
You're going to hit him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You should have got a
toll the dead on him. That is a straight 10. Again, he is
Yeah,
running
nope.
garbage.
That
Good.
does not work. So a D6 and a D12. Wait. 4, 5, 6 damage. But that's okay.
All right, yes, now he's beginning to look a little less there. But
Weather.
weather.
He does look weather.
He is
It looks
looking
a
weather.
little weathered.
This is a workout. These guys are getting winded.
All right.
Oh, yikes.
Okay.
I earlier, just for a point of order, I did roll a natural 20 on my Constitution save when I got hit
Yes.
for my concentration prax, so that maintained.
Okay.
Um,
Did you roll hex for your?
Yeah.
For the
For
damage
toll
as
to
well?
death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I'm just
Nice,
saying
nice,
that
nice.
I had the concentration.
Good stuff.
just For
Wow.
For our audience.
our
That is your turn.
Oh, it's my turn?
He has not moved. As you you can just see, but we'll say purplish energy pulsating from Unido as he is blocked in on this entity.
Okay, cool. I hear Marceline screaming, so I will actually cast Hexblade's Curse on the one that's already baned.
Okay, the one up here. Ooh.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I will cast Eldritch Blast by slashing through the air with a rapier.
Got it.
That's a natural 20.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool.
Get some.
So Eldritch Blast is a D10. All right. So Warlock math. Give me a second. So 5 from the blast itself, 4 because of agonizing blast. Or sorry, 5 from the blast itself, so that's 10 points straight from that. 4 from my charisma modifier, and then 2 more from Hexblade's curse.
So what's total?
So 5, 10, 14, 16 points of damage to that one.
16 points of force damage to him. It cracks into it. Yeah, you see, it's almost a simple visage of itself that's just floating there, almost puttering along, and is trying to grab at Marceline. And looks back and takes notice of you. It is half of what it was, but still floating in the air.
Cool. Now I'm going to run over towards Velafera since I'm looking super beat up after I cracked my head against the wall.
5, 10, 15. Get you in front of Unido next to Velafera.
Actually, put me over more to the side, like 10 feet away from Velafera. Right there. Cool.
There?
Yep. Perfect.
All right. So you run over, Eldritch Blast, move away from the entity that is here, and that is going to go to their turn.
Just draw sounds.
We'll say Pipalook, the one that's on you, will attempt to make his strike first. That is a critical hit. -2. Still hits. So he 5 points of slashing damage and 6 points of fire damage. To you, the one on Marceline here that you hit with a spiritual weapon is going to continue to try to pull her and lift her up. So a strength check by him. He is unable to lift her any more than what you currently see. So she is still... You get your levitate. She is levitating off the ground with the assistance of this other one. This one here is going to attempt to grab at her as well because he was unsuccessful last time. He rolled a nope, and he
rolled a nope.
Nope, he is unable to. Marceline's still whipping her hands away and batting this one away. This one here, Mr. Kotor. Is going to
I killed the dragon!
Whoops. Is going to attempt to strike at you. No, he is unable to do so.
Nice.
That is their turn. We are going to go to the top of the round. That is you, Mr. Kotor, with your axes out, and this entity in front of you.
Yeah, so the one that's baned in between me and Marceline, I'll just go ahead and hack at that and hope that I hit it.
Okay.
Natural 20 on the first one.
Natural 20. Roll me damage.
Alright. Oh, it's been a while. Hold him! Hold him in place. Yeah. My max damage, so it's 16 points of damage.
16 points of... Yeah, 16 points.
D4 plus 4, I rolled max.
Yeah.
On a crit.
16 points of damage as you strike into it. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw. As you cut into it, and it pulsates for a brief second, and it bursts into a cloud of steam.
13.
It does die.
13.
13. You save. You take no damage.
Woohoo! Spin around with my offhand attack.
Marceline does not
Oh no.
save. She takes 2 points of fire damage.
Just for a point, because it was cursed by Hexblade's curse, I gained back 7 hit points.
There you go.
Hey, nice.
Marceline
Nice
takes 2 points of fire damage from this one here. You have the one that is
Turn around.
offhand attack. Yep.
12.
12 hits.
Really? How fortuitous. That's 1 damage. It's offhand.
1 point of damage. It is still very much.
Alright. I'll drop the hand axes for now and get ready for my next turn.
Okay, that is going to move on to Pipalook here.
Alright, seeing that Marceline has been dropped, because that was the one that just poofed.
No, she.
Oh, she
this
is
one.
still
That was the
okay.
one that could not get a hold of her. The one.
Yeah.
We'll say for you, the one that looks like a bat is
Okay.
is the one that has a hold of
Then
her.
I'm actually going to drop my core staff. I'm going to pull out my bow and take a knee and take a shot at that one.
Okay.
She's been freaking out. That's going to be 14 to hit,
14 hits.
and that's going to be 6 points of piercing damage.
6 points of piercing damage to that one. Okay. it is still very much there. As the arrow passes through, it does not really hang on to it, but you do manage to stifle this a little bit. Sticks into the wall. Marceline does scream, not knowing where the hell's going on. And that was your action. Anything else?
Nope, no bonus action.
All right, that is going to go to that of Marceline, who will attempt to break the grapple of this one again. That is trying to grab a hold of her. She is unable to do so. I rolled a 3, and yeah.
Next time.
Yep.
Always next time.
So she is held. That is her turn. Unido, it is your turn.
Again, I'm going to try to see if I can maintain this vision so they can make a charisma saving throw.
That's a natural 20.
Natural 20. So he saves. He still takes half damage, but he can move this turn.
Okay.
So rolled a 14, so half is 7 psychic damage.
7.
I like
Okay.
your math.
All right, 7 psychic damage to him. That was your action. Or bonus action.
That was action.
Okay. What is your anything else you'd like to do?
Bonus action, I am going to switch the mantle of joy, psychic discipline, so I'll get a new range of powers. But I am going to run 35 feet outside this area
Oh
because
boy.
I do not want to be cluttered up with other people.
All right, you run outside of the barn.
Hate crowds.
Social
yes.
anxiety.
So you take
Social
okay.
anxiety.
With that said, Velafera, you see
I'm not a
Unido.
fan of the situation.
Oh.
Velafera, you see Unido beach feet out of there.
That hurt.
Inside, I'm a little hurt he's leaving us, but the show must go on, and I'll cast. I'll use my spiritual weapon again. Do I have to like?
D20 plus your roll to attack.
Why did I forget what to add?
+5.
+5. Okay. 18.
18
Sorry.
hits. Yep. So roll a D8 plus your wisdom modifier.
Nice.
10.
10 points. Yeah, he's looking definitely beat up here. You still have an action. It'd have to be a cantrip, or
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
gonna
just
tell the
run.
dead again.
Nice.
No, because she doesn't cast it again. It's just a bonus action to use.
It's a bonus action to use.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to
She's
be
not.
cantrip.
She didn't cast a spell, so she can cast.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm just gonna tell the dead again.
Okay, told the dead. Wisdom saving throw from it. He is now. He fails.
That was 5 points of damage.
5 points. So.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right. The bell tolls. It quakes. Begins to push the wind, and you see some of the hay and everything push away from it. And but it is still currently visible and looking as attention is drawn in your direction and is preparing to bear down on you. With that said,
Could I move?
you can.
Could I run it out of the barn?
Not next to
No, not next to Unido, but just like out and around that corner.
Full movement.
Yeah, 30.
All right. So you
Not
run.
that far, just like around the corner.
Normally I'd be afraid, but I got all my friends.
All right. You
Yikes.
and
Yep.
Navre will
All right.
run
You
and
got this, Ralph.
move. And no, it is going to move here. I need Pipalook and Eric's and the Method
Someone's getting a swirly.
to make strength saving throws.
Oh no.
What a twist.
Oh.
Be a 14.
The cleric just left the building.
That hurt my heart.
14 and
What is it?
strength saving throw.
Strength.
I'm on it. You have inspiration. You have 2 inspirations.
I'm gonna save them before.
All right, you take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. You are knocked away, but Eric's, you are flung. You are flung back into the wall here, sharing the space with your spiritual weapon. I need you to make me a Constitution saving
Yeah.
throw to maintain your concentration on your hex.
So just a 10.
As
and
you,
above,
yes,
right?
Pipalook as well. Yeah, you're going for a 10.
No, it drops. I rolled 2.
2. Your
Shield.
Shield of Faith is dropped, and you also
Saved.
hexes. Oh, you saved. So your hex maintains.
Keep forgetting to kill us, Pat.
No. No, we're gonna retcon that because I
Uh-oh.
did not roll my whirlwind.
Ah.
You did not take the damage.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll 2 slam attacks
Oh.
on you.
Yay.
It's alright. You got this.
But I have my shield of faith out.
Come on,
Yeah,
Tank.
you still maintain your. Well, for now, you maintain your Shield of Faith. You are not kicked back. You maintain here. I apologize for that. Was not focused.
So this is.
Okay.
That is a 27 to hit.
Yep.
You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Cool.
Second attack is a 24 to hit.
Uh-huh.
You take 17 points of bludgeoning
Yeah, I'm
damage.
down.
Oh.
As Pipaloop falls
Shield of Faith
unconscious.
You got the air knocked out of you.
That
It's just a whirlwind of emotion.
killed everybody.
It hurts.
So that was its turn. It's gonna go. We're gonna go to Eric's. As you see in your peripheral, you see Pipalook knocked to the ground.
I'm going to move my spiritual weapon to the flyboy above Pipalook
This one here.
and try to hit him.
Sure.
Do I
Space.
use it? Do I use it? No,
What do
I
you-
missed. I missed.
What you get?
It's a 7.
Okay. No, you missed.
I missed.
I'm just checking.
It's a natural 1. So then I'm going to get frustrated, but I'm going to toll the dead on
The big guy.
Swirly Boy.
That's a 2. He fails.
Sweet. So that is a D12 and a D6. That is 13 points of gong damage.
Okay. It is barely there.
Okay.
The big boy.
As he swirls around.
I will move.
Where are you moving to?
No, I'm not gonna move. Never mind. I lied.
We're good.
But I hang out.
All right. You staying
Hang out.
maintaining.
Yep.
Mr. Rosal, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna run towards where Belafera's spiritual weapon is. Bonus action, I'm going to cast Hex on the one attempting to carry Marceline.
Okay.
I'm going to hex its strength ability.
There you go.
Yeah. But I will actually attack the larger one with another Eldritch Blast.
Go for it.
Let's go. 18 plus.
Yes.
Yeah, 8 plus 7. So it's going to take 9 plus 4. So 13 points of force damage.
And then just like that, you blast right through, and all the hay needles fall down around you, and around Eric's and the body of Pipalook currently.
Picking it out of my hair.
Great. That's your
Fantastic.
little bit of
It's gonna
movement.
take hours.
And just so we're clear, in case you wanted to move back, you move 10 feet.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna stay right there.
Okay, good to know. We are going to go to them. This one here moves up. This one, leaving Pipalook, will move up here, and they all swarm Marceline and attempt to lift her up. So,
One has
Yep.
disadvantage, I think.
Yeah, one has disadvantage on the strength checks.
Yes.
That's the one that is holding her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one has been.
Okay, so I rolled for the 2. They grab her. I'll roll disadvantage for the other and her to try to. Okay, they all get their hands on her, and they're attempting to flap away right now. They have not moved from this point. Their action was to grab her, and they cannot lift her, as she is a little bit more hardy than these steam monsters.
They can't lift her away.
No, not yet. Not on this turn.
Gotcha.
That is going to go to. He left. Oh no, it's going to go to Roy. Roy.
I'm right here.
Well, it is your turn.
Yeah, hell with it. The one that first held her, I'm gonna go ahead and do a trick shot. I'm gonna do disarming shot
Okay.
and try and shoot it off of her shoulder, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And that's the one that has
Disadvantage on
strength saving throws.
strength checks.
So there we go. That's gonna be a 15.
Hits.
All right.
Yeah, there's not much to him.
And this is with Father of Invention.
Mm-hmm.
10.
2d10s sitting right there. You skip right over.
That's my hit point.
Oh.
So that's going to be 8 damage, and then he needs to make a strength saving throw DC 14.
Well, he would had you not obliterated him. Marceline is going to make a dex save. She manages to make the save and does not take any fire damage as it bursts into a steam
Cool.
like cloud around her.
Two more times.
Action surge.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Gonna do the same thing on the one that's baned.
Okay. Fuck that baby.
Disarming shot. Same exact thing. Natural one.
Oh.
The gun.
Inspiration.
Roll one.
Natural
20.
Crit back.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeez.
Sorry, Austin.
Yeah, right. So that's gonna be 11 points of damage, and it needs to make a strength saving throw.
It would had you not obliterated.
I already got the grip back. That's cool.
Marceline,
Oh wait, actually, it would have been twice as much damage. Sorry.
that's fine.
It's
Marceline fails her save. She takes 3 more points of fire damage.
Okay, and now there's only one holding her.
Yeah. One has her now.
I don't know if there's anything I can do for a bonus, so I guess that's about it.
All right, sounds like a plan. Can I, Pibluke, can I get a death saving throw from you, please?
Cool, to me too.
That's one failure. Moving forward, Marceline is going to, yeah. She is going to toll the dead on this one here. It's still very much alive, but that's all she can do currently. That is going to go to Unido. You are outside. You're not sure what's happening. You do not currently see.
I'll move 30 feet back to the entrance.
Moving to the entrance. You do not see the big boy. And you do not see much of anything because it is pitch black in here.
Where's the lantern at?
It was all the way towards the back. You would see just a little bit of light, but you're not sure what you can make out. Only gives out 20.
Oh, I'll actually move up more. Because I wasn't going to do an action this turn.
The light only comes out to about here.
Move me up until I see Pipaloop when she's down.
That's 35.
Did I see Pipaloop?
You would
That's
be able to
just my
make
spiritual
out.
weapon.
You would be able to make out. Yes, you would see Pipaloop just past the spiritual weapon.
So I'm going to tip my hat, if I still have it with all this wind. Tip my hat and cast Soothing Presence on myself, Brow, and Pipaloop, giving each of us 3 temporary hit points.
Okay. Does not heal you, just gives you temporary hit points.
But I believe you don't have to make death saving throws, but you're not up.
I'll look at it.
We should double check that because I don't think that's a thing that can happen. I really don't think that is.
It's just
I'm
if
looking
you
at
get hit by something while you're down and you have temporary hit points, if it doesn't go over your temporary hit points, it
Right,
doesn't
there you go.
do the thing.
Yeah, but you still have to make that saving throws. That's fine though. I mean, it's being reactive right now. Velafera, it is your turn as you're outside.
Yeah, I'll saunter back in.
Okay. And you get 15 foot in
My
with your.
bane would be gone. Also,
You dropping it?
well, I don't have it. In
Oh yeah, yeah,
okay.
true. Nothing.
It died.
Yeah.
But you get to this point here with your dark vision. You can see there appears to be one entity still harrowing that of Marceline and Mr. Kotor, but you do not see anything else within the room. Off to the side, you would take notice of a Pipalook that is laying on the ground.
Well, I'm gonna go to Pipalook.
30 feet will get you here. Are you using full movement? Or double movement?
Yeah.
Alright, double movement will get you next to her with Kitty Cat beside you. That would be your action and your movement to do so. You have bonus action if you so choose. If you have anything you can utilize for bonus action.
I'm really not Marceline's biggest fan. I'll move my spiritual weapon to 20 feet, which is as far as it can go. Well, yes, she's SOL. End turn, please.
Alright, there it is. That is going to go to... no, he's gone. And Eric, it is your turn.
That's me. Can I move my hex now that Big Boy's gone to the last
You can.
enemy? And then I would like to toll the dead there.
That's a 13.
Ah, does not save.
Alright, go ahead and roll some damage.
That is 8.
8 points of damage in that instance. It does explode. I need a dexterity saving throw from Mr. Couture and Marceline.
Sorry.
Marceline succeeds
Nice.
with an natural 20.
Oh,
Mr. Couture, you take 4 points of fire damage as this entity here bursts into a cloud of smoke. The room eventually, the winds stop. The noise stops. You stand in this half barn, looking about. I need, sorry, before we go any further,
We should follow turn order, right?
Rao, are you doing anything?
Pipalook's down, right?
Yes, you see Velafera kneeling next to her with your dark vision. You can see that, yes, Pipalook is most certainly laying on the ground with labored breath.
And just to confirm, we haven't finished long rest or anything like that?
No.
Okay, then I will run to her, lay my hands on her wounds, and this will be the only time you see this ever happen in reverse.
I
But
need a perception check from Eric's Velafera. Eric's and Velafera. Roy, you're too far out of the...
I got -1, so
Yeah.
natural 1.
So any light in the area would grow brighter as I take in any sort of shadow, and she will receive 3 points of healing.
Okay. Velafera, you most certainly see this. You see Rao step forward and heal Pipalook. You have not seen this before. Pipalook, you heal. You come to consciousness. The room grows quiet. We are going to take a break because I got to pee. We'll be back shortly. Please stick around for the second half of today's episode 4. We did it. We made it to 5. But yeah, please stick around. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Welcome back. We made it. Everyone went to the bathroom. I just want to clarify. It was epic. We all at the same time.
Yeah, we held hands.
Audience
We held
really-
hands. It's really, this doesn't help. But thank you for sticking around. We are going to get back into the story here very quickly, as the party has just encountered a few of these elemental type being. I'm sorry. What you got going on over
Everyone's
there?
fine. Taken care of.
So you all stand within this barn. The horses obviously clearly spooked at this point. Pipalook laying on the ground, and Rao just positioned over her. Velafera, you just take notice over his shoulder as he leans down. You see this bit of light, very much being around him lately. You've seen him almost pull light away from other things. He is dispersed like onto Pipalook. Her eyes open, and you see that of Rao over you. Eric's, you turn around and you see Marceline. She's a little disheveled, as well as Mr. Couture. Not so much, but definitely the room is not as it was moments ago. What would you like to do in this point?
Is her spell book on the ground?
It is, and
Can
it's
I go-
exactly right. Yeah, right where she dropped it. Mhm.
Can I go pick it up? And
You pick it up.
What happened? Like, well, was I asleep at that point?
You did not see anything.
So
You just
never
see
mind.
her spell book
Take it
laying
back.
on the ground.
Take it
Metagame.
back.
I'll go up to Marceline and I'll just simply ask her, like, hey, you doing all right? Those things were trying to grab at you and carry you off.
You know, I don't know what happened. I was just practicing my spells, and they were trying to take me and grab me.
Hey, it's cool.
She cries.
It's cool. I'll do like.
And
I'll
she
like,
leans her head into your chest.
Oh boy.
I will embrace her, but then anyone on the opposite side will like see the.
I'm
look on
staring.
my
Yeah, I'm
face.
standing right there.
But I'm just like, hey.
Everyone in the room sighs.
Um,
Another whirlwind happens.
I say, hey, don't worry about it. Things happen. It's okay. And then I will try to pat her on the shoulder, just stop her from crying.
Roll me a charisma check there, handsome.
Charismatic
While
character.
Oh,
I have the
boy.
Mantle of Joy ability active, I'm going to cast a Comforting Aurora. I'm going to pick 3 allies, which I'll pick Marceline, Rao, and Eric's because you're next to them. You guys are filled an aura of comfort come over you.
It was a 14.
14? Okay. Yeah, she calms. As all of you begin to feel this aura of comfort surround you. You do not feel any stressed or harried at the moment. But people keep picking yourself off the ground. As Rao's walked away from you and you see Velafero standing with Nagare.
I would help her out.
Lift up.
That wasn't you. He was the one who healed me.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware he had that ability.
I don't think right now is the time to talk about it. Perhaps it's something he doesn't want exactly known, or he would have done it sooner, right?
I suppose you're right. And I want to look outside through one of the holes in the wall. And
Yeah,
see if there's
easily
any of these creatures throughout the town.
Perception check.
Yeah.
At disadvantage because it's nighttime.
I will pull out my glass to negate that disadvantage. Cool. That's a 6.
6.
Yeah.
It's dark. And what's funny too is that there's no real lights, like no torches or sconces, anything lit outside. You know when you approach there were rows of houses here, but nobody has any kind of like nighttime light. There's no. It is a very humble, small town, almost as smaller or as big as Claythorpe was.
Okay. It's dark out, but it looks calm. Were we the only ones attacked?
I think so.
Why us?
It's always us, isn't it?
I wish we could say that we blew right through that, but those things were tough to kill. I think that we should establish some hand signals. No, we should.
I'm gonna whisper to Marceline quietly. I'm gonna say, pretty sure Roy's puns are gonna kill us before anything else does.
She sobs even harder. It's at this point, we'll say, Villafera, you take notice of it first, as you do see a big, bright, radiant light begin to enter into the front of the building. You see, it almost looks like it looks like a sunburst, and it's floating into the room, and just behind it you see Alejandro stepping in as it moves into the room.
Whoa. Instantly kill him. No.
Is everything okay?
It's fine now. Sorry to disturb you.
I just want to make sure that the children are okay.
Yes, I think they should be fine.
There was trouble on the wind, but it's gone now.
Immediately you see him wave his hand, and this entity, this sunburst, just fades away. Roll me a religion check. And anybody else who is proficient. 17. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hope you got your pants on over there.
17.
17? 17?
Yeah.
16.
16? And nobody else?
Nope.
Okay. You've heard of this spell that can be cast instead of a awfully dramatic. I didn't change that.
It's the man behind the curtain.
It is a guardian of faith that he has cast, and he had positioned in front of him walking into this building. You would know the same as well. But he, looking at this frumpy, old, friar-like man, seems pretty powerful.
Thank you for the concern.
Uh,
We appreciate it. Sorry to have disturbed you from your sleep.
It's fine. I'm just looking out for the children. We're not going to have any problems tonight, are we?
Have you experienced this kind of problem before?
No, you guys are just really loud.
Perhaps keep your doors and windows sealed for tonight at least.
Just to double check, does it seem like all the wind and craziness caused any damage to the barn? Like, are we gonna have this collapse on us now?
No, nothing was directed towards that. There was portions. Excuse me.
Portions.
There was a portion of where you got slammed into the wall. It does look a little like broken, but nothing that's going to be make the building cave in at any point.
Forgot about that. Someone massaged the pain in my head.
Yeah.
Can I insight check the way that he looks? If that's like,
Oh, him?
is that
Yeah,
like
roll me an
him
insight
as a
check.
person,
Sure.
or is he like?
It's a doppelganger.
Yeah, is it?
Doppelganger knows Guardian
He's
face.
really good.
16.
The rest of this campaign is
With that, I mean, that looks very much like him. The fact that he casts this magic leads you to believe that it could very well be him.
Okay.
He scratches his head. All right, well, have a good night. I'll see you in the morning. And as he walks away, you see him just scratch his ass rather vehemently as he saunters out. The rest of you have the rest of the night to rest or
Complete the rest, yeah.
complete your rest.
Definitely.
I'm going back to bed. I'll hand Marceline her spellbook back. You good?
Are you gonna lay down?
Yeah. I still gotta make sure the bag's okay.
Can I lay next to you?
If you want, sure.
I just want to feel safe.
Brown
You-
Brown
Sure. And I will wedge the bag between both of us as we lay down.
That's so gross.
Damn.
Okay. So she positions herself. She lays next to you, very much book in hand, and she just rests her head on your shoulder, and she falls asleep.
Okay.
The rest of you, I think we had a third watch there.
I would like to go back to sleep.
Or you don't sleep.
Yeah, can I
See, it
trance
works
again?
both ways.
Yeah. Can I
Sorry,
trance
my
again?
You go back into your trance.
And then will I get my spell slots? No.
You only can long rest once every 24 hours.
Oh, yikes. I'll
You-
stay awake then. I'll stay awake.
That's fine. So you stay up. I believe Eric's, you had a watch coming up as well.
I will also be staying up for
All
this
right.
watch.
So, Mr. Kotor going back to sleep.
Yeah.
Unido doing the Unido
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Can I short rest while I'm like just kind of like?
I
not
could
do
say
much?
you would take the benefits of a short rest, but it would lead into a long rest. That's fine. And I know because Warlock, I know what you want. So you get it. But the final watch of the night goes by uneventful. The sun rises, rather bright today, just unusually bright. As you are awoken, and you awoken to kids playing outside. Those of you who are sleeping.
It's hot. It's like real hot.
Yeah, an extra
What?
body warmth will do that.
And I'm gonna get ready to. Are we hanging out in this town, or are we just going?
We should leave.
Yeah. Then I'll start packing some stuff up.
All right, so you gather your things, prepare.
How far away are we from the city again?
From Carriot
Couple 10 days.
to 10 day at least.
This rate. I'm just gonna go see if I can find a blacksmith real quick and I just dart out.
All right, roll me an investigation check.
Not bad. Investigation is going to be a 19.
19. You are notified that there currently is not one in town.
No setup at all.
No setup at all.
Okay.
Most anything that they would bring in is or have of that nature is brought in to the town specifically. No one makes it here.
Alright. I'll head back, put two rounds in my gun, reload it,
Okay.
put it away.
That gun almost jams. Okay.
Almost!
So the wagon is packed up. The horses, you
another
put the
shirt.
body back onto the wagon, because you know you guys are taking it back to Cariad. Chesterfield is fed. Very much grateful at this point. You've probably taken the initiative to make him feel a little bit better.
And he was changing his bandages.
Yeah.
Oh, very well. You guys, I'm not gonna have you make any weird rolls or anything like that. It seems very cool of all of you to do so, but. You set out again, back to the main road within, we'll say, an hour. You were back on the main road and you were heading south. What is the next plan? Because otherwise I'm going to fast track this. Did you still want to take their box someplace?
Yeah. What's the closest? Because I guess if something goes down, we should probably still have authorities around to help. Maybe.
Do you think that it's wise to let? Oh, sorry.
I can hear you. Sorry.
Do you think that it's wise to let anyone in power know that we have something like this in our possession?
I mean, I'm talking about if this ends up being something ridiculous and it's beyond us, someone else should at least be more of a line than having it roam free for no reason. This place is already dangerous as it is.
I'm just worried we were attacked for no reason last night. And as of right now, this item is undetectable. If something disrupts that, we could bring more trouble upon us.
I mean, yeah, if we want to keep it secret and just make sure no one else is around, sure, but...
I believe that's wise. We're going to the company of a powerful mage.
Alright, then, what's the... There's that checkpoint before you actually get the carry, right? There's that really long run where it's super dangerous.
Mm-hmm. You know that is it's 1 day's travel from the outpost to Cariad.
There's a road. There's a final checkpoint before we actually get to Cariad. Do we just want to do it? Check whatever's inside the box before we get to that? Because then, if we do it that way, we'll only have 2 days of travel while this thing's exposed.
I say we just take the box, closed and sealed, straight to Dover.
I agree.
I take out my box buttons % and seal over it.
And seal over it?
Yep.
Alright, well, I don't run this gang, so if everyone thinks that we just keep it closed, we'll just keep it closed till we get there.
If this is what you feel is safe, I worry for the safety of the city that I grew up in.
I mean, thinking about it, Dovar probably has a thing for opening crazy, dangerous stuff, so he probably is more prepared for doing something like this than any of us. And to be honest, I've tried really hard to open it, and I could not get it open.
For the sake of this, I need roll me a persuasion check at advantage, as the party majority has agreed that you will leave. Since you're trying to convince Marceline that this is a good idea.
Okay.
Not that she's the authority; she is just she is your opposition right now.
Okay.
Doesn't hit Wu Tang.
Oh boy.
I want to use my inspiration since why not?
Is that right?
Still bad. 12.
12?
Yeah.
She looks at you. She says, and she smiles at you, if that's what you think is best.
Can I overthink her reaction?
Roll
Can I
me.
roll for overthinking?
Roll for overthinking. I love it.
16.
She seems that she is warmed up to Rao much more as recently the events and his attentiveness to her immediately after the battle.
Can I also see if that is genuine? Because she did
The 16?
warm up
With the
to
16.
me.
With the 16, it seems genuine, but she is still hard to read, especially with your doubts, as well as the rest of the party, with the exception of Dirks, who doesn't really know her that well.
I mean, can you a message to him ahead of time or something?
I don't have. I'm not that powerful. Not yet. I gotta go back to. I have to get back to school to learn more of that.
How fast does Rael fly? Could he potentially get a
As the
letter to
crow
him?
flies.
He's a raven, thank you very much.
Ooh.
Seagull.
Like,
Seagull. Mine?
like, is he trained enough that you can
50.
just get it to him?
His speed is 50.
Have you ever done that before with him?
Sure have not.
Messenger pigeon raven.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, in Sarama they use falcons.
Oh, within range. Okay, nope. We could certainly try. I don't really have control over him past 100 and something feet. Thank you. 120 feet. But
I mean, he's your raven, so if you're okay with it, it's the best plan I can think of right now.
and what is this mess? We're asking Dovar what we want to, what he recommends.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can just have him meet us outside the walls of the city or something.
Give me a survival check.
Hopefully I knew better on this one. 17.
You know that you are at least 17 days from Carrion.
Oh yeah. You
Um,
gotta be closer.
Well, there's this checkpoint right about a days away from Carrion. Once we get there, you could probably send them, and then hopefully Dovavar knows a way to respond even faster.
I do believe there are couriers that go in between the checkpoint and carry it daily. We can just send the message that way.
Do we trust that kind of message in the hands of someone?
It's a soldier
Not-
carrier. If he gets there and the seal is broken, he's probably dead.
Do I have a sense of whether or not that's a possibility with Rael? Or if he has to be...
Roll me an Arcana check.
No. I know. 5.
5?
Yeah.
You're not sure. It could be you could lose connection
We can
with him,
certainly try.
but you know that if something ill happens to him. True.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, we could just try both and see which one happens to work faster.
I think we should travel with all haste to this checkpoint. I don't know the Stovar. I don't really know a lot of you, but if you seem to trust him, I will follow your lead and not insist upon opening.
He's an interesting fellow, but he's a family man.
I trust
so,
him.
Yeah.
He's a man who's brought us together to complete our various goals.
I shake the box funds.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, he wears these really weird shoes, and he also has like bluish green hair, and so I don't really see how that's evil.
I think you just described him.
He's Prince.
So,
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, like, honestly, I traveled with him for a couple days before we got to his place, and he wouldn't stop cracking jokes. He's pretty funny.
Humor aside, I don't really know if that's a way to judge someone's character, but I will take your word. And
He's a man of honor, and he's a man, a family man.
that doesn't mean much in my experience, to me personally, but I will take your lead. I'm not here to make demands of any kind.
So you continue your march. Again, and if there's anything you choose to do, I'm going to fast track this 5 days.
Just the insight and deceptive training.
Make your notes. We won't have make the rolls. You're actively taking your time.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you make the roll. If we're doing a camp, I'll have you make the rolls. Right now, I'll allow for it to happen.
Okay.
Just to fast track the
I'm just
story.
gonna keep an eye out for dust and unsettled ground and stuff like that.
Okay, roll me perception check at advantage for the passing 5 days. See if you know.
Perception.
Yes. And you're rolling at advantage with you're getting assistance from Pippaluke and those who are willingly helping. 21. Nothing of note. You do see, as you continue to travel in the distance, the very large forest that Eric's you know quite a bit about. Velafera, you would know some about. Even Rao, you know about the Emerald Forest and the stories that linger throughout. Pippaluke, this is new to you. Unido, it's still a little new to you from what is within. But nothing has caught your interest yet as these 5 days pass.
I do want to do my training as well.
Okay. Actively, I would say your training does occur. So make your notes on your days that you have accomplished. And I'm not having you make these rolls because I'm taking the opportunity or the initiative to fast track the days. Unless there's something specific that you want to accomplish.
I did want to ask while we're traveling, does anyone know anything about the city of the Vale? Unido found that I pull out the
Am I present?
yeah. What is it? Charities and utility services or something?
Public Works.
Yes.
You can roll. You can roll me about the veil. You can roll me about the veil.
You showed the third one, right?
I
History
do.
check, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta grab it from
Natural
her.
20.
Okay. You grab the patch.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to
I will release it when you grab it.
Just a 9.
put
9.
it back in
Okay.
my hat?
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Total of 24.
Natural 20. You would know that there have been many people that have left Lost to go entertain themselves there. When they left the city, that anything that was on their person, any of your technology,
It's taken off.
absolutely, you did not leave because they knew out of any of the places you could ever be caught with that technology, that is the last place you want to be caught with that technology. It is a very opulent and amazing city on the very top.
Yeah.
Beneath, it is exactly what any seedy underbelly would
It's
be.
Atlantic City.
It is. Anybody from New Jersey? No, I don't care.
Just less. I don't put it on my hat. I just hold it, stare at it, I do go back.
But yes, it's casinos. It is opulence and grandeur. That is
I
what
will
you know.
relay this to the group.
What would someone from that kind of place have interest with this religious javelin?
Because of the natural 20, I will allow for you to roll a wisdom check on
A wisdom check on that.
that, on that statement.
This is purely speculation. Just straight wisdom. 5.
You have no idea.
I have 0 clue.
Been hitting that a little bit today, you know.
I'm driving. I've only finished 1. And
The wagon moved.
rough roads.
Person.
I'm not.
You're driving. Like, anyone know what this is?
It was a rock. It was a rock. Keep going. Keep going.
I'll let you know someone. We just ran over someone.
Can you help me with my cows?
Listen, I'm not gonna judge. So
All right.
I mean, there's obviously coin to be made surrounding this item. So, anyone that's after coin.
With that said, we'll say this is technically the 5th.
the final point is anywhere. If anyone was interested in reading Etheridge's journal, since I finished with it, I would be glad to pass it around to whoever wanted to read it.
I'll read it.
You want to read it?
Yeah.
When you can, forward him that information.
Okay.
It's wordy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I wanted to work on my perception. I want to try to see if I can find animals in the field as we're passing by.
Okay. Well, roll at advantage because you're covering multiple days.
Can you keep an eye out for some antiseptic, herbs and such for the horse?
Sure. Anything that can clear up an infection?
Yeah.
That's one.
Natural 20?
Nice.
Roll me a nature check at
You found
advantage.
Neosporin.
That's
You realize Unido's the
Cool,
same
that's
part
me
they use
19.
for.
You do manage to,
penicillin.
yes. It looks a little different. And, again, a lot of greenery and stuff like that. for you to find stuff, you would know, you remember up north you have to dig deep to find things like that, and you mostly use mosses and things that grow within the caves. You spot something that looks very much similar. You take her and you notice her doing this, and you're like, I wouldn't. And she bites like roots and such, and you're like you don't even know. She's like, I'm testing everything. It's definitely something to watch. Velafera, you take notice of it. You're like, yeah, Mom does that shit all the time.
But it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
But that's how else do you find out how things work? But she does manage to find something that would compensate for what you're attempting to do for the horse.
Cool.
So
Apply.
fifth day of this passing fire. Oh no! Go ahead.
Okay, I want to monitor Marceline and Rouse interactions as best I can from a distance.
Okay, perception check.
Space between the waist.
Yeah.
It's like
Keep room
space,
for-
space balls.
Oh wow, that's terrible.
Virgin alarm. Virgin alarm.
Perception?
Hey.
8.
8. Okay,
Yeah.
easy enough though. Not being overly affectionate, but wherever he's seated, she sits next to him. When you get off the wagon, she makes sure that she's in the vicinity or around him.
I appreciate her intellectual abilities as a person.
What that neck do?
Does Battlefield have like a spray gun, like a water bottle? Ow!
No, but you definitely see that it's not affection as much as
Attention.
security. You feel like she might be getting a sense of security, but you're not. But you don't see anything else. No hand holding, no leaning, nothing. She's not sighing or anything. Nothing. You're taking no notice of anything like that. She's just where he is. She's probably about 5 steps behind.
We're academics.
Education.
And just so you guys have the patch information, the patch is titled "The Municipal Design and Civil Charity from the Vale."
So, you are all on the wagon. Roy driving, Pipalook looking out. Oh, there's over here. I'm gonna check, and she hops off and pulls a bit of root and jumps back on as you slow down just enough time. You guys have developed this kind of like rapport relationship, so well, I'm gonna keep moving. And but she just leaps off and jumps back on. The rest of you in the back jostle a bit. Wind, the cool air keeps the interior of this bearable. As this if it was in the summer months or anything like that, you would not keep the cover on. You would try to get as much wind in here as possible. The rocking and of the wagon definitely keeps most of you awake. As some of you take the opportunity to maybe keep the body in check, as I believe you.
As a gentle repose.
Gentle repose, yes. So the body is not
Decaying.
It's not decaying,
Sloshing.
but it's definitely still eerie in the room. It's funny though, because at this point, the rocking of the wagon as it sways back and forth, and you see the body move. Winter. Each step and each clomp of the horse echoes, and you hear the creak of the wagon. It jostles back and forth, a reminder. And as you stare out, you're brought back to that night. You can smell the death. It's so uncomfortably close to you. And you can feel the weight pressed on top of you as your eyes open and you see the death in front of you. The body that is laying on top of you. And the two that are beside you as you rock and you rock in that back of that wagon. And you panic and you push and you peel yourself out and you fall off the back of the wagon, cracking your head on the dirt road. You look up and you see the featureless face and black robes that just drape and waft in the wind. And as the cloak opens up, I need everyone to leave the table.
What?
You want to go home?
Frustrated.
Can't stay here.
Okay.
Austin, when
Okay.
everyone's out, please.
I see how it is. I see how it is. Anna Grace.
Oh no!
We're about to get some serious tea.
That's serious tea. Oh boy. Oh my god.
You see the cloak that's draping all on the ground around as you have picked yourself up. Your body singed still from the day previous. The cloak opens as you peer into it, and you see several things. You see a man that's made entirely of wood. He walks alone on a path that you're unaware of, and as his body moves, he falls to pieces all around like a piece of a puzzle. You see a strange human man wielding unusual metal objects. He stands in defense of a group of scared children. In a second, he is wreathed in green energy and scattered across the ground. All you see is bone. You see a dark-skinned woman that stands in a forest that burns. Next to her, a massive white bear that stands by her side. And in a flash, you see a wave of flame, and then you hear, and then a volumeless scream. You see a woman who stands outside of a temple, surrounded by men and women and children. They all bear a symbol of a crested moon. She looks up to the sky, and in a second, you see sparks of silver. And the entire group of people that stood there, as well as her, are no longer there. You see a city of opulence and grandeur sit in chaos as an arsenal of flaming rock rains down. You see a pale-skinned man. He stands facing an enormous black orb. Roll me a perception check.
I'm gonna use my inspiration, one of them.
Okay, speak louder for the...
I'm gonna use one inspiration die. Okay, 19.
His hands and his mouth and his eyes all expel this deep, black, shadowy energy. And as your vision spins to turn to see what it is he is trying to fight against, you see another world. You see a planet that mimics your own. And you see legions of beings that look very similar to yourself and others, but are distorted. You see a single moon, but you recognize it. And then you look up to the sky and you only see one moon on the planet you're on. In a flash, you see the man that was or expelling so much energy. He explodes And then a flash of white. Your eyes jolt awake, and you are on the wagon again. Okay.
You okay?
No.
Yes, keep it on.
I'm not okay.
I'm not okay.
So you're the doppelganger.
There.
Yep, you caught me.
Hey. Figures.
So we're currently being attacked by a bear.
Yep. Go. What?
It's okay, I got this, guys.
See, now you can
He
actually
wants
put
to
it
know
on
the
your
secrets are
shoulders.
too.
I know he does.
Yeah, huh?
She's all flustered right now.
Villafera, you take notice very quickly as
Okay.
Eric's kind of jostles awake, and looks like he may have been out of it for a minute.
How far away am I from?
You're right across. I mean, you guys sharing at the back of a wagon, so you would tight, close quarters. So we'll say within arm's length. You know, the punches.
Oh no.
My little brother often has nightmares, so I would reach over and just grab her hand and say,
His hand.
Him's
Him's
hand.
hands.
Him's hand.
Him's hands.
For hymns.
I definitely there's a moment of like no reaction at all, and then he kind of stumbles. I'm usually sitting towards the back of the wagon. Stumble like out the back of the wagon and just like fall to my knees.
Oh, I need you to make me an acrobatics check,
Yeah,
as the wagon is
definitely.
still currently moving.
Oh yeah, for sure. Acrobatics. 10.
We'll say you see Eric stand up and begin to walk out of the wagon.
I'll yell. Never yelled before. Stop the wagon.
You roll a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fall. You don't eat shit. You definitely crack your knee onto the ground and you stumble forward. Roll me a con check.
Check or save?
Check.
I'm at this thing. 9.
9. Yeah, you begin to heave very heavily as this is all rushing to you. Everything that you just were a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you expel.
Yeah, I'm definitely straight up bombing.
Roy and Pippi look you here, stop the wagon, and the wagon halts as you look out.
Yeah.
Rao, Unido, everyone looks out and you see on all fours currently Eric's is on the ground having a moment.
I'll hop down next to him, put my hand on his back, and cure wounds.
Okay.
Just to try to
Yeah, the spell is hit
get
you.
out.
You're overcome with this warmth, but still you have that overwhelming sense of panic.
I don't know what that was. I don't know. And he's just like not making any kind of sense. He's babbling. He's not saying any. He says something like there's rocks falling from the sky. He says all sorts of nonsensical things.
And I would assume Roy and Pipaloo kind of come off the back of the front of the wagon and towards the back to see what the hell.
My gun's drawn, by the way.
I'll ask Villafera.
We're gonna have to put him down.
Old Yeller out back.
And
You know,
I just made a comment to Roy. I think I might be camping here for at least a little while.
what's wrong with him, Villafera?
I think his god is just speaking to him.
We'll say as she says that, you look up and you see them. The wooden man, the dark-skinned woman, the unusual human, the woman draped in silver, and the pale-skinned man.
I stand up and kind of stumble and lean against the back of the wagon and just kind of brush everyone off and just it's fine. We need to keep moving. It's nothing. It's fine. I'm fine.
No insight check necessary. Passive insight for most of you. You would almost discern that he is not fine.
I try to climb into the wagon and just eat shit again.
I will catch Eric as he falls over.
Okay.
Make a strength check. I'm like,
all legs. Yeah. Jack Skellington is going to fall on.
Oh, hey.
18.
I got. Oh, all right, I got you. I'm so strong.
It's amazing.
I will, knowing Pippa looks as strong as I was, I'll look at Pippa like, hey, help me get him back in the wagon.
Are you sure you're strong enough to travel, and I'll come over and kind of put an arm over?
It doesn't matter what. We have to go. I'm not important in this. It's y'all's.
That's how they talk in Valstaff, yeah. Y'all.
It's your journey. I can't slow you down. This is not what we need to focus on. And he's shaking.
Just help me get him up there. Right now might not be the best time to ask him any questions. Maybe. Does anyone have any water?
I want to go, once I help get him back up, I want to go into the herbs that I've been picking and see if there's anyone that'll sell a stomach or like common herbs.
Okay. Maybe a nature check. Yeah.
Cool, that's going to be a 7.
Yeah, you're not sure. You're digging through. You're like, this is for the horse. That's for the
Sandstorm.
horse.
Yeah.
This is pretty. I just this is pretty.
That is a horse.
Can I grab some rocks? She said rocks, but he said rocks falling.
Oh no.
You can grab some rocks.
I have rocks.
Easily enough. You grab about a handful.
Get back in the cart.
It's funny too, because for a split second you see a really big rock, and you're like, but are you camping, or are you going to try to keep moving? As Eric leans against Raoul a bit and towards the wagon.
Sit here for a second and see if we can get your bearings back. Let us know how you feel.
1,000-yard stare. Just kind of breathing heavily. No response.
I'm gonna walk up, take a little bit of rope out of the back of the wagon, tie it off to the thing, and just kind of like loop it around your arm a couple times, and then tie it off again. Not like restraining you, but so that you like have something like a safety harness. Kind of.
Oh, shit handle.
Yeah, no shit handle exactly.
Oh,
Like,
boy.
yep, and then go back into the front.
Okay, you head up towards the front. Valifera, and Roy, and as this is all happening, you guys are getting your bearings and looking about. You two hear a scream. South.
Is it Marceline?
It is not.
Alright.
It sounds like that of a child, and it just screams.
So me and him hear that?
Mm-hmm. You hear it first, as the rest of you eventually notice them kind of straighten up and look around.
Can I tell how far away it sounds?
You can roll me a perception check.
7.
You're not sure.
Does it sound like it's fun or terror?
As you
That's
ask this
child.
question, you hear it again, and it sounds. Yes, it sounds like terror.
Which general direction? Is
South.
it north? No, south.
Yeah.
Just south.
And we're heading north, right?
You're heading south,
Oh,
coming from the north.
how far away are we from the checkpoint?
Checkpoint. You guys are
Today?
12 days.
Oh, okay.
Let's get back in the wagon. Let's go see what that was.
And we still have that big forest to our right.
But it's some distance away. But it's
Okay.
large enough for you to. It makes
We
up
can
the
still see
entire
that.
landscape. Yes.
All right, let's go. Haste to
Quickly.
Everybody jumping on a wagon?
Yep.
All right, you get on the wagon.
crazy train.
Roll me animal handling check, please.
Animal handling. That's a 4.
Okay, you.
You already used your inspiration.
Yeah, I did.
I did.
It does not. Oh.
Oh no!
Do they go?
Yes, they're
Do they
gone.
go?
Hold on.
They're gone. Everybody in the back. Yeah, if you were seated, you're on the floor.
How about rocks?
Yeah, rocks.
The rocks are not falling from the sky.
It's happening.
You begin to move the wagon. People look very much looking over, and you clear a small ridge, and you see just on the other side. You see you two specifically would see You see a wagon wheel, a turn of a wagon, and then as you get around the bend, you see a caravan of wagons that seems to have been decimated. And just around the corner, you see this large entity, that is apparently holding some sort of chest and shaking it as something is screaming inside of it.
How large?
We'll say about 15 foot tall, green with black stringy hair.
Just one.
Just one.
How far away is it?
About 30 feet from you.
I'm gonna draw my arrow, draw my bow and shoot.
I will say something to it.
You are in the back of the wagon. You do not see this.
Okay.
You, as soon as you come around a corner, you see it and you hear something screaming as it's shaking this chest.
How far away is it?
About 30 feet away from you.
Oh, that's really close.
And it's as soon as you get, as you're barreling around, and you see this, it cricks its head over, looks at you, and that is where we are going to jump back in next week.
I want more combat.
That's a lot of fun. I love this game.
Oh, man.
I love this game.
Eric's is a doppelganger.
Dun, dun, dun. I think it's
Okay.
the worst.
Sorry, got a little sidetracked there. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. This was episode 4. We are going to... what's that? Oh, Faceman41, thank you very much for the gift subscription. You are our saving grace on this stream, and we would like to formally thank you for helping us out with that. Again, we'd like to give big shout-outs to Easy Roller Dice Company, a big company that helps us out with the dice trays and the dice and all the cool stuff. Also, Glass Cabinet Hobbies. Please visit them at glasscabinethobbies.com. You saw some of our minis. I haven't used too much of them yet, but we're going to get there. Also, if we please check out sustainablefamiliesfoundation.org. Great organization. Please check them out. Also, Carolina Abrantes, the artist that helps us have amazing visuals at the beginning of this. So please check her out on Twitter at fires_00. Personally, I'd like to give a shout out to my friends up there in Pennsylvania, the Buddha Boys. They have a great podcast. They talk about everything from D&D to wild and crazy stuff. So just please give them a check out. I think that's it. Please be nice to yourselves and other people, and don't forget that adventure is for the bold. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good luck with Game of Thrones.